In today's episode of the ODAN podcast, I speak with Invicta Audio, a label that is not even 3 years old, but has quickly become a household name within the drum and bass scene. Winning multiple awards, from events to big releases, it's no surprise they're one of the most talked about labels within the drum and bass scene. In today's episode, we talk about the ins and outs of what it's like to run a label, stuff like the work-life balance in the team, how it is run, and what separates them apart from all of the other labels. So if you'd like to know the ins and outs of what it's like to run a record label, or just the behind the scenes of what goes on in the music industry, then this is the episode for you. Yes, people, welcome to episode 4 of the ODAN podcast. Today we are joined by Will Davis, who is the co-owner and director of Invicta Audio. You might know him as Inviolable. We've had a lot of people asking for labels to come on, so who better to have on than Invicta Audio? So obviously you've been doing your thing. It seems like you guys have been around for ages because you've just been everywhere, but you've only been around since 2020, which is nuts.
Yeah, the label side of things started in May 2020. Yeah, so in like 2.5 to 3 years, and yeah, we get a lot of people like come up to us and be like, oh, like, yeah, you guys have been about for ages, and it's like, well, yeah, it does feel like that, to be fair, but yeah, still relatively young, really, considering labels like Hospital are now, what's it, 25 years old now, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. So yeah.
Yeah, I think because you came in with just such intensity, it feels like that way. But you decided to start during the pandemic. So for most people, that's the worst time to start any sort of business venture. What made
Mhm.
you just think, yeah, this is when to start it?
Well, to be fair, mate, I wasn't actually about at the very start. I gotta be honest. So it was turned to a label in May 2020, and I joined like a few months later, maybe like
Yeah.
it was like September time. But so at the start it was Anton and, do you know Lewis Fowler?
No,
Or
but
he goes by Hidden, shout out
yeah.
Hidden. So it was them two at the start, and it was like an events company in Bristol.
Yeah.
So we've done like a few events at Blue Mountain and Asylum as well.
Mm.
And there was one booked in for Crofters Rights. Um, but it got cancelled because
Yeah.
we went lockdown. So then Anton made the decision to, rather than just let like the events die out and let
Mm.
the name Invicta die out, to diversify into a record label.
Mm.
Which, as you say, like it might be a bit of like a crazy idea, like starting something in lockdown, but I think if anything, the lockdown kind of helped because everyone was so concentrated on their phone all the time and like their laptops and like, listen to music. That yeah, I think people were more concentrated, if anything, online. So it
Yeah.
potentially helped out.
I think everyone just had nothing else to do. So
Mm.
people were just addicted to just find any form of entertainment. And I think that's when Invicta Audio fully took advantage of that. So I think for a lot of people, look at Anton as the face of Invicta Audio. And I'm just trying to think if you can just like give a bit of an insight of who's involved within the team and like what's going on, like who's running like everything.
So there's in terms of like the behind the scenes or like the running of Invicta, that's been like a whole team of us throughout the last 2 to 3 years. So it's been Anton, Dan, myself, Lewis, who I mentioned earlier, Yayan, Hugo, Matt Lampett, and even at one point Anais was involved in the label side of things.
Mm.
So it's been like a whole different team of us. Um, but due to like uni commitments and people going in and out of full-time work, it's been like up and down like people's roles.
Yeah.
um and yeah, so now it's pretty much me, it's Anton, Dan, and myself that pretty much run it at the moment.
Mm.
um and we all live together in this house. Yeah, a lot of a lot of late nights spent down. Well, we call it the office, but it's literally Dan's bedroom.
Yeah.
So half of it's got his bed, and the other half has got the sofa. And yeah, so it's kind of just us three running it at the moment. So
Mm.
yeah.
Do you find that obviously now that you're all living together, is it quite hard to ever get away from Invicta Audio, or is it just 24/7?
To be honest, mate, like even from before, um, so even going back a couple of years ago, uh, I feel like even then it was pretty much like a lifestyle. Like
Mm.
that's kind of what running a label is like, because you wake up first thing in the morning, you've got like DMs and emails and what have you. Um, and then like because I'm now doing it full time, I do it for the whole day. And then I might be doing bits in the evening as well after like my like scheduled
Mm.
work hours. And then I'm likely like have a break, make food and that, and then it's the last thing I'll do before I go to bed as well. And
Yeah.
then it's like rinse and repeat. But yeah, living together um has potentially intensified that as well.
Mm.
Um, because like we'll be sitting in the kitchen or making food and chatting about all manner of different things. So potentially, yeah, but I think really for the last like 2 years there hasn't been a massive like switch off point anyway. Like
Yeah.
it's been pretty full on.
Yeah. I can only imagine. Just 'cause even I have it where I'll struggle to switch off on just what I'm doing creatively and everything. Does my girlfriend at the wall sometimes come with her, but I'm not mentally present because I'm just thinking of other things. And I can
Yeah.
only imagine with Invicta Audio, it seems like you guys are just doing the most in every avenue that you possibly can. You guys are just going balls to the wall pretty much. So I can just imagine it's just a million things just going on.
Yeah, I would pretty much agree to be fair.
Hmm.
Um we you know we we've got to give I've got to give massive credit to Anton there. Um, his like hunger and motivation for success is like just not really something I've seen before from anyone.
Yeah.
Um, like I remember, so it was in what was it, December or January, something like that, when we had the house party. That was the last time I seen you.
Yeah.
And the next day we had um the D&B Arena Awards interview, went down to London for that. And then I think it was that night we got back from it. We were like celebrating a bit. And Anton was like, nah, it's not good enough. Like, why aren't we doing enough? Like, we need to be doing more. So I think it comes from him, to be fair. I've got to give him credit. He's been like the spearhead, if you like, of
Yeah.
Invicta.
Well,
Um,
it literally explains everything as to why Invicta, like for everyone, they just sort of came out of nowhere, and
mm,
then just within the space of less than 3 years, you became a household name. Like anyone that's within the drum and bass scene will know of the Invicta Audio name, and to do that in 3 years, it makes sense why. If you got someone like Anton who's just non-stop, it doesn't surprise me. He seems like the busiest man in the drum and bass scene at the moment. All I just see is he's just up to just doing something.
yeah, mate, it's pretty constant, to be fair. Um, and now and again I'll have a little bit of free time and I'll give him a battering on FIFA,
Yeah,
which he will not like that, but it's true. Um, but yeah, he's very, very busy, man.
yeah,
Because well, also because he's one of the events managers at Lakota as well.
yeah,
It's yeah, both sides of it is just hectic.
yeah.
So
What brought you and Anton, like the rest of the team, together? Like, how did you all meet?
so quite a few of us are actually from Gloucestershire, and we're like friends from home, really. Um, so I actually went to one of Anton's events. It was an under 18 party thing, in Cheltenham, when we must have been like 16 or 17. Like we're in
Yeah.
different forms, but because Cheltenham was not the biggest place, just heard about it and went along. So I've kind of like known, like known of Anton for years, and then through mutual friends we went to um like going to different events and stuff at Blue Mountain when it was open in 2018. So I got to know him a bit then, and then like helped him do some promo for an Invicta event, like before I even knew what Invicta was, like just helping a mate out.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's kind of how I know Anton, and same with Anais, to be fair. Um, like because them two are best friends. They lived in a little place called Cleve in Cheltenham.
Yeah.
Mm. And then Lewis, who I mentioned earlier, Hidden, he went to the same school as me and was like good friends with Anton before I like got closer with him. Um, and then Dan and Matt, who were in the team as well, uh, they went to a school in Gloucester, so it's all like very Gloucestershire based, and
Yeah.
we're all in like the same friendship group now. Like even people that aren't interested in drum and bass.
Yeah.
And then other people like Jan and Hugo were friends of Anton, like from uni stuff. So yeah, pretty much like mates from back home in Cheltenham and Gloucester, and also Anton's friends from uni,
Yeah.
basically.
Do you think that plays a large factor into why the team works really well because you guys are all friends before, or does that sometimes cause, I don't know, they do say sometimes mixing friends and business together, sometimes it can be a risky one.
Yeah, I would agree. In that it can be a risky one, but I think that's only if I don't know if friends got like greedy or something like that within the business side of things, and obviously it would affect the friendship side of things, and you do have to be quite cutthroat as well in order for business to succeed. But um, I think because we all work so hard that hasn't really come into it, and we're all just like good mates anyway. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I think as well, being friends definitely helped before because, when we're starting out in Invicta and we were on, say, like between like 5 and 10K on SoundCloud, um, around those times there was like the whole team active because we were all in uni at the time,
Yeah.
doing like a meeting or two every week. I'd probably attribute those meetings to a large part of our success because like it got all of us on board. We're all focused, all collaborating, putting in different ideas, chatting about different releases, events, all of that.
Mhm.
With 6 or 7 of us on like Facebook Messenger calls for, sometimes up to like 5, 6 hours at a time.
I can imagine just got all these different minds and inputs coming in.
Mm.
You're bound to just stumble upon just different ideas that are going to work because you just got just so many ideas flowing in rather than when it's just one person or two people, you can almost be quite one-sided in the way you think, whereas you might have an idea thinking it's really good and then the rest of the team is like, no, nah, it's not. And then you can sort of see it from someone else's point of view. So I think, yeah, having that like group of people to sort of fact check like whether it's going
Yeah.
to be a good move or
And
not.
we've still got that now, to be fair. So we've got like the full Invicta chat because like the side that I haven't really mentioned, like we spoke a lot about like the working team side of
Yeah.
it, but we've also got like the resident side.
Yeah.
So like obviously Anna East Telex, everyone. And we're all in like one big chat on Facebook. So we talk
Mm.
about all manner of things like all day, every day on there, really. And yeah, everything gets put through there. So everything that surfaces really, whether it be release or event wise, kind of goes through the opinions of everyone who's
Yeah.
involved in Invicta. So, we get a really good gauge for what the like wider audience would like think of something, I guess.
Yeah. Like one thing that always seems to come up whenever Invicta Audio gets mentioned when I'm speaking with other people in the music scene, like whether it's DJs, other promoters and stuff,
Mm.
no one ever has a bad word to say about Invicta Audio. I feel like I like to call them the people's label in drum and bass because it's just I feel like there's such a great sense of community that you have with everyone that you work
Yeah.
with. Everyone that I've spoken with that's worked with Invicta Audio have just said that you're really good people to work with, and just so yeah,
Oh, mate,
I feel the
thank you
community
for
is
that. I
like a
appreciate
massive
that.
part.
I appreciate that. That's really nice to be fair. Yeah, I do. I feel like it's a big sense of community as well. Um, you know, I feel like maybe it's to do with the fact that, we've been going out to raves for what, 6 or 7 years. We've been into drum and bass, going to raves,
Yeah,
and I don't think any of us ever really, like, when we started out. Well, maybe Anton did because his ambition is like next level. But like, I at the time when we started it, I was just joining it because I just enjoyed it. I
yeah,
just wanted to get out music that we rated, get them in the free download EPs, and
mm,
just have a good time with it, really. So I feel like, we've all always been like, our target audience is ourselves almost.
yeah,
So maybe that's why it kind of, as you say, like the label for the people.
mm,
Um, maybe that's kind of why, if that makes any sort of sense.
yeah, yeah. I think it does. Is there any like moments over the last 2.5, 3 years where like you're thinking this is way bigger than I thought it's gonna go, like, and this is gonna work?
Um, in terms of like this is gonna work, maybe it's the natural pessimism within me, but I kind of don't feel like that ever like fully clicks. Like I've kind of feels like we're always on the edge of our seat with it, like, and we're constantly wanting to put out like sick, newer, bigger projects.
Just one up
So
yourselves.
yeah, yeah. So that like feeling of like, right, it's done, and like we're now like an established label. I feel like we're a hell of a way off that, to be honest. Like,
Mm,
because we want to be going with like the hospital, critical, 1985, all of Born on Roads, all of the big guys. Um, so yeah, if we win the best label award ever, then maybe I'd feel that then.
mm,
Um, but in terms of like the come up over the last couple of years, um, maybe I think when we come second last year in the best newcomer label, that was just like completely mental, to be honest. Like, because obviously there was such strong competition that year, um, that getting that like level of recognition from the community was like mind blowing. Like, I remember I was sat with Lewis in his room, like watching the live stream, and we seen third place Overview, and we're like, oh, we probably made it then, because Overview obviously such a sick label.
yeah.
Then second, like, heard our tune being played, come up with Invicta. It was like we were jumping about the room, like hitting each other, like going mad. So maybe like, yeah, maybe like a moment like that was just like quite like a bit of like a slap in the face, like quite eye-opening, really.
Mm,
Uh, and then with, I'd say also with Jay's tune, Jakar, the Olivia Rodrigo bootleg, like that blowing up on TikTok and like Instagram and stuff. Um, yeah, that I think just that like realization of, we've kind of got like some sort of like power of it could happen.
mm.
Uh, yeah, so yeah, I guess maybe them too, if anything.
Yeah, I feel like one thing Invicta Audio do really well is their social media presence and how you work. I think that's probably comes down to you being such a young team. You know how the your audience is in terms of social media, so it works really well. Do you think that that's something that's been a large contributor to how it's grown so quickly?
Um, I'd say, again, it's credit to Anton, if I'm honest. He's just his like it's like unforgiving, like the relentlessness of it's got to be 2 posts a day, morning and evening, on the Invicta Instagram. Like I've no idea how many posts we've got over on there now,
Mm.
but always, trying to like up the Instagram game like little bit by little bit, and yeah, like just the social media presence, like that's definitely been a big part of the like plan. Because obviously when it comes to promoting the events and the releases for both of them, the Instagram is the main tool for that, really.
Yeah.
Um, and there's obviously loads of other things that we can use, but I think that is like the staple, really. Um, so yeah, credit to Anton, mate.
Just when I think about it, yeah, now you mentioned you posting twice a day, I feel like I do see this Invicta audio all the time. So, but that's why it works because you're just always in people's minds subconsciously, probably.
Yeah, potentially. It's yeah, like on the weekend, we could have had a heavy one, but it's once in a blue moon that Anton misses a post or hasn't scheduled a post for myself to upload or whatever.
Mm.
So yeah, I'll actually be interested to see how many posts have been done like, over
Yeah.
the last couple of years. But
Literally, but like, do you reckon Anton ever just burns out, or do you reckon it's just the way he is? He just lives for it.
I have seen like small stages of burnout, but he's also very good at looking after himself and recognizing when, like some self-care is needed.
Mm.
Um, so there has been like a couple of times where I just have like a break for a little bit, or like go home for a weekend or go on holiday,
Yeah.
something like that. Um, or just communicate with us, really, and just be like, I'm really tired, or can would you mind taking it over for a few days, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
With running the label and everything that comes along with it, because you're doing the events as well. You've also got the t-shirts and everything. So it seems like you're covering as many bits as possible. Like, what would you say is like a hidden difficulty in running a label that from the outside in you wouldn't like think about necessarily?
um I'd say hidden difficulty, um probably, as we've touched on before, just like the not switching off. Like it's not like a 9 to 5 thing. It's like so many hours. Maybe as well, like the admin side of things, like just between the three of us, just trying to keep like on top of everything is like, you have to compartmentalize and just do it bit by bit, otherwise you'll get drowned in it.
Yeah.
Because like, the DMs and the emails and um like customers orders and things, like, yeah, there's always issues with something or other. And yeah, just gotta, I'd say, just staying on top of everything. um but as long as you attribute time to it, and, as I say, compartmentalize, just deal with it bit by
Mm.
bit and not let it all build up into one massive ugly task,
Yeah.
you just keep chipping away at it, then I feel like that's probably the best way to deal with it.
Mm. What would you say is the best thing about doing what you do with Invicta?
The best thing, two things like instantly come to mind, and one is like just signing sick tunes. Like, obviously, as a drum and bass fan, like messaging artists that, like, your favorite artists that you would love to hear tunes from, and getting those releases together is just like, it's just sick. Like, you're just like, kind of choosing what you want to be listening to. um so yeah, that side is definitely sick. Like with the Flowdown release, like working with Flowdown and
Yeah, that's
suddenly
big.
on that was just like a mental experience at the time. And getting that finalized, like getting that final master back and like listening to it for the first time, and then like hearing it being played live for the first time, that I think just the love for the tunes basically, constantly being in a relationship with that. And also um after like the months of work for an event, like being at one of our events at Lakota say, and just like looking out into the crowds, and yeah, I think just like being appreciative that people have like spent their money and are spending their time coming to our event is like massively appreciated. um so yeah, that I would
Yeah,
say.
because you also do the Invicta events in multiple cities. The
Mhm.
first time you did that, was that a bit of a, did it take you back a bit to think that with a lot of labels and events companies, they have their city and then like, it
Mm.
sort of like stops at there. But the fact that you could go to multiple places around the country and that you've got a loyal fan base that they recognize the Invicta Audio brand, so they come to it whether it's in a different city. It doesn't have to be just because you're in Bristol.
Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely mental, and yeah, just again, like extremely appreciative and grateful that that people are listening to our tunes, and like seeing footage of our events online and wanting to come to them in, in their hometowns or their cities where they go to uni, for example, is yeah, definitely crazy, but much appreciated for sure.
Yeah. And obviously the size you are now, I'm not sure what the process is like when it comes to having new artists come on and release music with you. Would you
Mhm.
say now it's all done through people coming to you or you approaching other artists? Like what's the process like for that?
Um, to be honest, I'd say the stuff that we put out is probably like 80% us approaching other artists, I'd say. And yeah, because yeah, I'd probably say that. Um, but at the end of the day, our kind of like ethos with tunes has always been like, it doesn't matter if they don't have millions of monthly listeners on Spotify or whatnot, and they don't have 100,000 Instagram followers. Um, if the tune's good and it relates to us, and we think that our community will rate it,
Hmm.
then we're going to put it out. And we give it equal effort
Yeah.
to someone with a million Instagram followers put it out. It's the same thing.
Quality
Uh,
is the most important thing.
yeah, definitely over like profile or whatever else it might be. Like with Jakar's tune, that Olivia Rodrigo bootleg. Um, I think that was like his second or third tune he'd put out. It had
Yeah.
like a few hundred followers on SoundCloud, maybe. Um, but yeah, we thought the tune was sick. We thought people would rate it like
Yeah.
nice and summery, nice and vibey. And yeah, put it out, and it's done good.
Yeah. I think that shows because you get it with some labels where they're just releasing a lot of stuff and you can tell sometimes but they're just looking for quantity over quality. And I
Mm,
think in the long run, when you're releasing quality releases time and time after again, people will trust the label. So even if they don't know this artist, they're like, well, Invicta Audio put out good tunes. So I'm going to check this artist out because I don't even know what they are, but it's probably going
mm.
to be good.
Yeah, to be fair, I hadn't really thought about it that way, to be fair. Like, I just yeah, just I guess we trust in the artist, we trust in the track, so I guess it
Yeah.
works.
I remember it's a quote, so I'm probably going to mess it up, but it's something like it takes years to build up um, trust or something, but you can like lose that trust in a week just by
Mhm.
or just like not provide if people recognize you for doing something all the time, like they'll trust you for it. And then if you change, it doesn't take them long for them to stop trusting in like the product you're putting out.
Yeah, yeah. No, I hear that. I hear that. I don't think we're planning on changing anytime soon. What we've been doing, people have been seeming to rate, so just gonna keep doing our thing, mate.
Yeah. Um, so obviously you got that big release coming out with Floden. Have you got
Mm.
any other big releases, like forthcoming tracks that you can tease us, let us know what's coming?
Um, yeah, let me get up our catalog actually. Yeah, that Flow Down one, obviously, like I had so many people asking about it. And it will be out this year. Um, then we've also got wait, when's this pod coming out? Will it
Probably next week or the week after.
Okay. Um, yeah, so still then forthcoming Latte EP, which has been getting some mad reactions in the
Yeah, I've
rave.
seen you teasing them from sets and that.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that Latte EP be coming out in March. We've got tunes from Jappa coming. Um, tune by Mad Sam and Kumo, which has been teased for like ages. That's coming out. Um, we've got a big free download coming from Bruck as well. Um, it's a very interesting track. It's like a bit of a journey of a track. Like it starts out like jungle, then
Yeah,
breaks down into like dub, and then builds back up. It's
that's
proper sick.
nuts.
So a hell of a lot coming, a hell of a
Yeah.
lot.
How far advanced into the year have you got your releases like scheduled and planned?
I mean, in terms of like finalized stuff, um, maybe till like August time, maybe something like that. Um, and then in terms of like plans for EPs coming through, probably into 2024, to be honest.
That's crazy.
So, um, but yeah, it's the calendar for the releases is kind of ever changing because different producers need different amounts of times for
Yeah.
things. Um, so yeah, we kind of play it by ear a little bit and plan ahead when we can. Um, yeah, it all just depends. It's different release to release, really.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Just for a bit of fun, I've made an Invicta trivia. I
Oh
want
my
to see what your knowledge is. So,
God.
the first question I've got here is how many artists released on the launch EP and how many can you name?
The as in the first free download
Yeah.
one. Well, I know we had it was either 18 or 19 tracks. Um, oh my God, but there was like features and collabs. Oh my God. Right. Well, I know we had Napes, Gonda, Harley D, Para, Jando, JPEG. Um, oh my days. This is really testing my memory. Oh, I apologize to all producers that I don't name.
I've put you in it here, haven't I?
You stitched me up for me. Oh, Rise. I know he was on there. If I haven't said him. Um, Infra, Ian. Shout out Ian. Um, oh mate. Somatic, Willow. Um, how many have I got? Do you know?
I don't know. But do you want me to go through them?
Um, yeah, go on, go on.
Right. So I'll start from the top. So you got Harley D and Indecision,
Okay, I said Harley.
Toxinate,
Toxic. Oh, how do I? Sorry, Isaac.
JPEG, Rise, Willow,
Got all them.
Infra, Substance.
Substance course, man.
I'm not sure. Is it James or Jamez?
I think it's Jammers, yeah.
Jamez, yeah. Drowsy,
Oh, mate.
Jando and Para, Gonda, Buki, Pengo, Somatic, Para, again, Outbreak, Napes, Harley D, and Formula.
Okay, so I think I missed off like five or
Yeah,
six.
I don't think you said Formula though.
No, I didn't, but do you know what? I wasn't actually I joined when I think we'd done like the 3K release, something like that. So I
Yeah,
wasn't actually out for signing those
right.
tunes.
So
I
you
confused
can,
myself a little bit.
yeah, you can let yourself off a bit there. Um, I thought this, yeah, you should get this one because you mentioned it. But anyway, so what is the most streamed track on the Invicta Audio SoundCloud? Is it A, Arc Patrol, Let Go, NJ, Edit VIP, B, Olivia Rodrigo, Deja Vu, Jakar Bootleg, or C, Digger D, Y, 2M, and Desi Edit?
I think that they're all up there. I think that might be the top three even. Um, but I know that the Olivia Rodrigo bootleg by Jakar is the most
Okay.
streamed.
What's second?
The NJ track, which just hit 700K, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it is. And this is also a tough one because you weren't at the label at the time, but what was the date of the launch EP? When was it released?
Oh, is it the 20 something? Oh, okay.
What
What?
month?
I know it was May. I know it was
Yeah,
May.
it's the 8th of May 2020,
8th of May. Oh, okay.
which is crazy to think that's less than 3 years ago, and just like how big you are now is crazy.
Yeah, well, it still feels surreal, like to be in this
Mhm.
position. It's just like mental. And we're all so grateful for it. But it's, I feel like at some points it's good to kind of like take a step back and like reflect, um, and like kind of like look at what we've done, but also at the same time we don't want to be sitting there and being like, oh yeah, like look at this, what we've done, like it's so sick. Like
Yeah,
we always be like head in the game, like always on to the next thing,
yeah.
always spinning 300 plates at one time.
So, Will, the last question of the trivia is: how many tracks have been released on Invicta Audio as of today? And that's dub packs aren't included in this as well. So, just like
Is
free
the
downloads and like releases in terms of
so
like tracks as well. I mean, not yeah,
so it's free downloads and like paid releases as
yeah.
well. I mean, oh man. Well, I know that we've had around 50 free download releases, but that obviously includes like the EPs and LPs and stuff. Um, and then we've done like 35, something like that, paid releases. Um, sorry, is that me? Um, oh man, that's tricky.
Mm.
I'm gonna go 280.
It's close. It's less than that. It's 244.
Okay. I originally was gonna go 250, but then
Mm.
I picked it up. Oh well.
Yeah, I literally had to go through and count every single one, and I kept on feeling I was going to like miscount. And I was like, I can't mess up. But yeah, 244 in the space of just under 3 years. When you think about it, that is a lot of music coming out,
Mm,
which
yeah.
is yeah, it's crazy. But what I'll do, I'll go into some of the questions that we have got from the Instagram story, and then we'll go into some of the events and everything you got upcoming. Right,
Cool.
let's see, we got a few. Right, this one's from a little sound actually. She's
Okay.
put, "Where did the aliens come from?"
Where did that? So, um, you remember I told you about the meetings we used to have,
Yeah,
like when coming up, like the team meetings that we do once or twice a week. That definitely was an idea from one of them because we come up with all different, definitely weird ideas and
mm,
random stuff. Um, but we thought, so I'm pretty sure we first brought them out at Dare 2 in Bristol,
hmm
where it was still like the sit down like bench raves.
yeah,
Um, and we thought like, what can we do to like, I don't know, like spice it up a little and like have our own little twist on it. And yeah, so we bought a bunch of aliens and just like put one on each table, and then had like a load of others, and then we were like handing them out and stuff, and everyone just like loved it basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, then we just continued doing that and like did them at like Lakota and things as well. And took them all around the UK like on our tour. Um, and yeah, it's just kind
Yeah.
of
They're
like
synonymous with the brand now, I feel like.
yeah, like if you're coming to an Invicta event, you can almost expect that you can get away with taking an alien home.
Yeah. But it's even, I see it just from festivals and stuff. It's almost like the Invicta alien spotted because you'll just
Mm.
be there and they'll look out in the crowd and then you just see one person with this alien just like popping up and down above everyone's heads.
Yeah, that is true. It is true.
Yeah. I've got another question here. Where did the name Invicta Audio come from?
That's a very good question, and one which I think Anton would be able to answer better.
Hmm.
Um, mm, oh, well, in Invicta actually started out as, so Anton did entrepreneurship or something like that, entrepreneurial business at
Hmm.
uni, and he was in like a group project, and they came up with the name Invicta somehow. So I know that much, but
Yeah.
whether it's like a business name generator or something like that, I've no idea. But I know it came from that group, like in just like a uni class, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. Got another question. It says, how do you become an Invicta resident? Or I think probably like a better way is what is it that you look for when you're thinking of whether that person will become an Invicta
Yeah.
resident or not?
So first and foremost, genuinely is, do we get on with the person? Like, because even the resident side of Invicta, um, it's all like a massive friendship group anyway. Like whenever you see like any of them at a rave, like got to them, have a chat. We're chatting every day. So first and foremost, it is, do we get on with the person? Um, Secondly, obviously, it's got to be like the level of tunes. Like we have to like absolutely love your tunes, and like so much so that we think that we can like push you to like be like advancing in your career, basically.
Yeah.
Because with all of our residents now, we feel like they're gonna make it, and that we just want to push them like as much as we can,
Hmm.
uh, so they get to that point. So yeah, got to be like a producer, got to be a good DJ as well. Got to be able to like put on a good show to people. Um, and another massive thing is work rate as well. 'Cause if people are like slacking or not like don't have like the hunger for it, then I don't feel like that aligns with our brand too well, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. So yeah, definitely work rate, like people that are heavily invested in it and just like want it
That
bad.
makes sense. What's it we got here? We got someone asking, is there going to be updated Invicta sports jerseys coming for 2023?
Oh, um, well, seeing as it's a collab with SoundCloud, it's something that like what is in the ones we've put out already.
Yeah.
With those, any sort of like updated versions we have to work on with those guys.
Yeah.
But we do have um a version in the works for a special carnival that goes on in Bristol each year. So hopefully we'll have a version out for then.
Yeah.
Mm. And in terms of like merch in general, um, we're actually creating like a new kind of um like fashion brand, if you like away from like the label side of the
Yeah.
merch with like the basic logo, t-shirt, hoodie, etc. We're gonna trying to be going for like a bit more like out there designs, like stuff that people who like more of like a fashion orientated
Yeah.
brand basically. Yeah. So yeah, that's been worked on for a few months now, and yeah, we're hoping to get some out. Maybe I couldn't give a time estimate to be honest, but we'll say this year. We'll say this
Yeah,
year.
that's fair enough. Right. Well, I won't ask any more questions from the story just because I don't want to inundate you with everything. You've obviously got all these festivals and events coming up. Do you want to speak on any of those?
Yeah, sure. So I mean, I'm not entirely sure when this pod's coming out, but we've got an event coming up on Lakota a week today.
Hmm.
Um, so Friday, 3rd of March. We've got TNA and P Money playing a set together. We've got X-Man and Jay Muller, obviously father and son, playing together. We've got Sota, T-Lex, PDX, Benny, Johnny Darko, Anton, Jay Buki. Um, like sick lineup. So yeah, proper gas for that next week. And then um we'll be doing some more full circle events as well. Um, if people are interested in other genres like more like breaky stuff and like garage and one
Mm.
four, all of that's going to be coming on full circle. And if you went to the first one, then you would know that it was sick. Um, also got at Lakota again in June. I'm pretty sure it's June. We're doing a day party to celebrate 3 years of Invicta. Um, and I don't think I can say anything about the lineup just yet.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I'm not sure if I can, but it will be announced soon, the event, if not by the time this podcast is out.
Yeah.
Uh, and it is fat. Like I am so buzzing for that day party.
Yeah, let's get
And
myself down to that.
yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. And then festivals, the ones we've had announced. Um, so we've got three with hospitality. So we're doing a stage at hospitality on the harbour, a stage at hospitality on the beach in Croatia, and we're doing a joint stage with Run at hospitality in the woods in London. So definitely come to all three of them if you can, because they will be sick. And I think we've had Bolter and Nas announced as well.
Mm.
Uh, and yeah, hopefully have some more festivals come in. But yeah, it'd be sick to see and meet as many people as possible at that.
Yeah, that sounds like the summer is going to be a bit of a crazy one for just the whole team at Invicta, because I'm sure, as well as all those different festivals and events, you're going to have releases and everything popping off. So I
Yeah, we've got
imagine you're going to be doing the most.
Yeah, got some, yeah, as I said, some sick festivals and events lined up. And yeah, the releases aren't slowing down around that either. We've got a lot planned for the next number of months, really, mate. So yeah,
Yeah, no, is
I
it?
just want to get it out like now, like I just want everyone to hear the tunes we got, but obviously it's got to happen in good
Yeah,
time.
I can imagine there's so much stuff that you're just sitting on that you want to get it out to you, but there's not enough time in the year to just do it all just like straight away. So you got to spread it out.
Mate, trust me, like I wish there was more months in the year and more hours in the day so we could just get more stuff done. But
Yeah,
that's where hopefully the longevity of Invicta will allow that
yeah,
to happen. And yeah, we can just keep doing sick stuff.
yeah. Because even I feel like with some of the things that I'm like trying to do, I feel
Mm.
like there's just not enough time to fit everything in, and that's just me, one person. I think with Invicta, who's just doing pretty much everything. Anything you guys do, I wouldn't put like surprise me. Just like you seem to be covering every avenue. But yeah, I will let you leave. I don't want to keep you for too long.
Mate, it's been really good. I really enjoyed being on it. So thank you very much
Yeah,
for
it's
having me.
been really good. And I just thought I would big you up, Anton, everyone in the Invicta audio team. And I think people within the drum and bass scene can see it. I feel like your label encapsulates all of the best aspects within the drum and bass scene. You're a progressive, fun, community-orientated label. And I think that's why you've grown so much within such a short period of time. Because, like I was saying at the beginning of the podcast, I feel like you are the people's label. So it's great to see. I'm very excited to see what you got coming up.
It's extremely kind words, so thank you very, very much.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. And if you want to find Invicta Audio, what are the links at? Anything?
So, for pretty much all of them, it's like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, SoundCloud. It's just at Invicta Audio.
Yeah, brilliant. You heard it there. Right. Been a pleasure, Will. And I'll catch everyone in the next episode. If you enjoyed that episode of the ODAN podcast, be sure to give it a share, like, subscribe, everything. I appreciate all of you who have taken your time to listen or watch if you're watching it on YouTube. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.